Good morning, everyone. How are we doing today? So it is a fine winter morning here in Canberra, and I am planning to do some game design because it is my day off. And since I was going to be doing that anyway, I figured I might as well share it with you lovely people. So, good morning. Hi. How are we all doing? Give me just a little moment to try and get things set up here behind the scenes, because I've never tried window capturing a PDF before, and I'm not sure if I'm allowed to do that by OBS, so I'm just going to quickly try that. Window capture. Properties. Can we... Offspin. Acrobat. Yeah, can we do that? Can you guys see that? Awesome. Cool. Cool. Alright, so, yeah, let's get started. Enough soft and chill morning nonsense. I'm sorry to hear that, drummer boy. Yeah, chill out, pull up a seat. Let's have a nice chill time. And yeah, tomorrow is always another day. Things can always get better. So, let me tell you all a little story. So, gosh, some years ago now, I was watching the original West Marches on Roleplay with Stephen Lumpkin. I was watching some other streams that were sandbox proximate, if you will. And I was like, hey, this is some real cool stuff. And so I created a very small scale, very contained sandbox environment. I ran a campaign in it, and then eventually, as was always the plan, the players busted out of the sandbox and headed off through the wilderness towards the sea, where we were then going to all become pirates. I saw something, but the prep I did, the sandbox prep I did for that region they were traveling through, so much of it was so cool that I was just like, fuck, this is better than pirates. That campaign folded, as campaigns always do, because of the passage of time. And then sometime last year, Dark Cloud Void, that was a while ago, right? And then sometime last year, so I'm gonna say mid 2016, a bunch of folks I went to university with at my local university, many of whom were in the local queer department with me, many of whom are now my housemates. And I started a campaign. And so we started playing a campaign, and I was like, fuck it. I really want to do something sandboxy, right? I was still in that space. I think I'd been rewatching a bunch of the end of West Marches because, God, it was just left dangling. Really frustratingly. So, I go back, I watch a bunch of West Marches, I'm like, oh, I really want to run a sandbox. So I also, at that point, am in the middle of my honors year. And it's the middle of the year, and things have started to get, serious, right? It's the real thesis work time. And so, actually, give me a moment. I'm just going to try see if I can improve the lighting situation in here. Is that better? Am I gentle and soft now? Because that's the goal. So it's the middle of honors. I do not have time to write a sandbox from scratch. Particularly not if we think back to Steven's GM prep streams for West Marches, right? That's the kind of sandbox we're talking about, right? Random encounter tables and in regions and all this shit. I don't have time to do it from scratch. So instead, I take all that old shit and I update it. And because I've revised the premise of the campaign, I revise a bunch of other shit. And what I end up with is All Things Under Heaven, which, for a brief time earlier in this year, I was streaming on Twitch, live with some more cool people. Thank you, Andrew. I aspire to avoid being J.J. Abrams whenever possible. yeah, I was streaming that. I've basically kind of like I've passed through the 5 stages of grief and come to accept the fact that, like, at this point, with only a laptop and in a house with like 4 other people and, you know, not a huge amount of like upload bandwidth, like, I'm just not in a practical position to be producing gaming streams. Like, my computer doesn't have the CPU, I don't have the upload bandwidth, I don't have a second stream to watch chat and to watch OBS. So that campaign is kaput. That was an experiment. It didn't really work out. Anyone who's watching who produces shows, if you would like to produce a show that I GM, please do feel free to get in contact with me. I have some wonderful ideas for Monster Hearts campaign. But for now, I'm going to be focusing more on the game design stuff. Where am I going with this train of thought? Oh, yes. So I ran this campaign, and it lasted... We got like 18 sessions in or something before real life got in the way, and that was a pretty good run, and we had some great time, and a lot of great content came out of it. What also came out of it, as time went on, and I hacked... Yeah, exactly, Drummer Boy, exactly. As I hacked 5th edition more and more considerably, as I got out my little game designer scalpel and carved increasingly larger chunks away and kind of grafted on Frankensteinian growths of homebrew design, I realized that 5th edition was really not telling the kind of story that I, like, it wasn't doing anything that the game was actually about, right? Like, nothing at all. And so I had the thought, I mentioned to some of the housemates, I was like, hey, like, I might start, like, evolving towards a homebrew thing, maybe we'll playtest it at some point. That campaign ended before we got around to that, but with the Twitch game having officially come to a close, this campaign was no longer actively being run. But a bunch of the people who were doing the Twitch game were still keen. A bunch of the cool people at my work, where we run role-playing games with children, if that's news to anyone. A bunch of cool people in my work seemed really keen on it. So I'm probably going to be bringing the campaign back. And at the same time, I was like, fuck it. You know what? Like, I'm just going to hack together, like, a playtesty thing. And, like, maybe we'll start off playing Dungeons and Dragons until I can get something, like, cobbled together that'll run. But, like, fuck it. I'm just going to do it. Like, it doesn't have to be good design because I'm not planning on selling it, like, yet. Though, like, look, obviously, if people decide at the end of this process, they're like, fuck, that looks cool, I want to playtest, like, okay, I'm down, and then we might revise. We'll see what happens. That's... Yeah, I mean, Andrew, that's... It's interesting because, like, Endless Sea... God, I'm about to go off on a total... I'm going to restrain myself. Suffice to say, Andrew, and in chat, poke me if you're interested in me talking about this more, but for now I will limit myself to saying, I did martial arts for a whole bunch of years. I also acted for a whole bunch of years and did a bunch of, like, fight choreography, like, stage fighting stuff. I have a lot of feelings about fight choreography and good fight choreography and how conflict in narrative needs to be an extension of conversation and needs to be about something and needs to, like... I have a lot of opinions about how fights should fit into narratives and should, within themselves, have narratives. And because of that, I tend to write games where I'm like, let's be selective with our fights and make them good, not just like D&D. Yeah. Again, I've lost my train of thought completely. Where was I? Oh, yeah. So, I'm hacking together a playtest document for this game. This is the moral of the story. So, right now we're looking at a finished playbook. That's not actually what we need to look at right now. So I'm going to pull back from that to All Things Under Heaven game. All right, so here we have like the super document for this game. It has a bunch of shit in it. It has some stuff like purely setting stuff from the original campaign document that talks about the game. It has the current tentative list of basic moves because this is powered by the Apocalypse hack. It is a hack of Dungeon World, doing a bunch of things to make it more genre appropriate for the specific kind of fantasy I'm doing and setting appropriate, and also doing away with a bunch of the tributes to D&D that I understand the purpose of in the context of Dungeon World being deliberately an homage to AD&D as Adam and Sage's first edition of D&D. But a bunch of that shit is really annoying to me, and I just think, like, we've moved past it, and so I am getting rid of it. Like, damage and hit points. Like, fuck that. Pretty much. So, where to begin? All Things Under Heaven is it is loosely in the style of the West Marches, right? Like it's that same basic formula of like small, safe town, big, wild magic, dangerous, untamed wilderness around, people driven to go out and explore, no real way back on the civilized edge, right? Like it's that same basic formula. It also takes a bunch of inspiration from a fantastic product called Stone Top, which is a Dungeon World hack being done by a guy called Jeremy Strandberg, who I did a little bit of playtesting for and I'm hoping to do more at some point. And Stone Top is hacking Dungeon World to do like lower, totally localized, more folkloric fantasy. So it's like you are the inhabitants of a village, the titular Stone Top, and you, like, all of the classes are reconceptualized to be much more specifically about the setting and the place, and all of the threat, and like it's a game that is about as much about like the domestic life of the village and making sure that it has like safety and the resources it needs as it is about adventure. Like he very specifically shifts it's one of the principles in Dungeon World, fill the PC's lives with adventures, to punctuate the PC's lives with adventures. Like there's a very conscious shift in that direction. But anyway, Stone Top is a big influence on this game. Because I like the idea. One of the things I started to realize was really limiting about the West Marches thing is that like characters come up with these great backgrounds and like nothing ever fucking happens with it, right? Like you're like, oh yeah, like I'm a disgraced former imperial assassin and like I was doing jobs on the side making my own money and like the Empire got pissed and so I fled out here to safety where their reach doesn't really extend. Or like, oh yeah, like I'm like a fucking prophet from my homeland and like I had heretical religious views and there's like a real fucking giant ass volcano and we worship volcanoes and I'm gonna set off the volcano as an act of religious devotion or fucking whatever, right? Like players can come up with all this great shit, but West Marches as written, it's all bullshit because nothing can ever come of it. Because the West Marches is not about it's not about anywhere outside of the West Marches, so you can never go back to those places and interact with them. And town is always safe. So nothing from those places can ever come looking for you and threaten you, right? Because like the place they're going to come first is town. So yeah, this is a West Marches-like game. It is not a West Marches game because fuck that. That limitation has become boring to me. So yeah, right. Like this setting stuff. This is like an Asian influence setting. It draws a bunch of its inspiration from China, both kind of like later feudal China and also like earlier like Nine Kingdoms, Nine Provinces era, and like the really mythic like Bamboo Annals stuff. It draws a bunch of inspiration from Japan, from Korea, from Mongolia and Nepal and Tibet. And it then also kind of like bleeds a little bit down into like Vietnam and Thailand and Laos and that kind of region because there's some interesting stuff there too. My aim very consciously is not to do a like this isn't fucking Rokugan, right? Or Legend of the Five Rings or fucking Karatur, whatever the fuck the other Forgotten Realms one was. Like yeah, my goal was my goal with the setting, which we're not working on today, but I just want to like flag this as a disclaimer. The goal is very much like the same kind of respectful treatment of creating a fantasy world inspired by Asian cultural assumptions in mythology and history rather than European. The same kind of thing that Avatar: The Last Airbender does. The same kind of thing that Kubo and the Two Strings does. The same kind of thing that Adam Coble is trying to do with Court of Swords at the moment, over on Roleplay. Like, that's the goal, right? We may not be perfect achieving it, but that is the intention. We're not trying to fucking do Rokugan, right? But yeah, so, setting, we live in kind of like a main central continent. Around it, there are a number of others. Long ago, the dragon gods and the beast gods ruled. Each of them had like chosen species that they catalyzed. They all created species after their own image. Let's just fucking leave it at that. And then eventually, over the course of time, other kind of human gods rose up and created mankind as their like army for the war to come. And then there was a great war in heaven, the Wars of Jade. And the beast god, the dragon gods were were thrown down. And their people went into hiding, and they kind of like many of their greatest kind of dragons were slain or passed into quiescence or whatever. The beast gods kind of remained in the outskirts where they had always lived, and instead human civilization rose up and has tamed most of this central island. But, and here we get into the really West Marches part, right? Off to the northwest, there is the Wastes, a region of land where the wild magic still roams free, where the old gods and the spirits are still strong, where everything is still weird and fucked, and where the Empire's reach very, like, falters and stops. And so the game is about you live either in Iron Springs, the last, like, frontier of human civilization, or in one of the human villages in the Wastes itself, and it's all about, it's a game that's all about you going into the Wastes and doing shit, right? Like, let's all call back to West Marches Rule 0, right? You're an adventurer because you don't want a safe and settled life. That's not your goal. So, that was a whole fucking lot of preamble, for which I apologize, but context is important. To saying, so this is a game that's kind of like in the style of Wuxia. It's in the style of the West, of Steve Lumpkin's The West Marches specifically, not the original. So we want like weird fantasy, like deep, strange, unusual lore, a focus on exploration and like interrogation of the fiction, an emphasis on being transformed and changed by the weirdness you find, and like an emphasis on solutions other than totally straightforward combat. I would say those for me are like the key identifiers of the style of the West Marches, what made it cool kind of for me anyway. So that is the game that we are working on. I am currently in the middle of working on playbooks, which is the key thing to get it kind of playable. So just very briefly, if we're just gonna look through this, right? So like touchstones, we've got Dungeon World, Stone Top, Blades in the Dark for the idea of like a Powered by the Apocalypse game that comes with a pre-built setting. The Nightmares Underneath or Beneath or whatever the fuck it's called, because I need to look at it, and then Apocalypse of Fallen Empires. Incentivized Behavior. There's some notes there about the like semantic distinction between the go into battle move and the feat of martial skill move, which again is genre tropey stuff. We got some basic moves, blah 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 blah. There we go, playbooks. Okay, so in this setting, we have eight playbooks. That said, if anyone feels like there are some tropes, like just gaping holes, do holler. I am open to adding like one, maybe two more. As it stands, here is the plan. We have the Acolyte, which is simultaneously your like cleric or warlock in traditional fantasy. I think in this setting, at least, anyway, the semantic difference between a warlock and a cleric is non-existent. Like, they are the same fucking thing. Right? Like, they are a person who is bound in some way, whether willingly or through coercion or through selling their soul, right? Like, in some deep and meaningful way, they are bound or tied to a more powerful entity of the wild magic. Whether that thing is a god, whether that thing is one of the great spirits, whether that thing comes from the underworld, like, that's all the one class, right? Like, there's no... The difference between a cleric and a warlock is not interesting enough for us to pass them, right? That's a thing. even debatably, like, I would argue druids, right? Like, druids fall into this category, and they're just sworn to the wild magic itself. So, that's one playbook. There's the Brute, or the Brawler, I haven't quite decided yet, who, yeah, is all about, like, sheer, straightforward force, about, like, endurance, about, not even, like, martial training so much as, like military training. Like, this is the guy who was a soldier, right? This isn't the wandering swordmaster from the Wuxia film. This is the guy who used to be in the Imperial Army. So they're also trained in, like, excavations. They're probably also trained in fortifications. They're trained in a bunch of that shit. There's the diplomat, who falls into... They're a little bit like the Skinner, from Apocalypse World. They're a little bit what are they called? The Spider from Blades in the Dark. They're a little bit the Bard, but they're also, like, very much kind of like they're that character, right, who, like, makes everyone sit down for tea ceremony and sorts shit out, like, through games of, not games of riddles, but through, like, polite and proper social dealing with creatures, right? Like, they're the one who's gonna make a deal with the demon rather than trying to fight it or trick it or out-magic it or whatever. I mean the Slide instead of the Spider? Good question, Dark Levin Void. I don't remember my blades well enough right now because it's still fairly early in the morning. I kind of mean both, to be honest. I feel like the diplomat kind of does fall into the mastermind role. We'll figure it out if we're working on it today. Yeah, there's the hunter, a scout and tracker with a lethal skill at archery and a keen eye for tactics and danger. At home in the wilds, they start, and this is crucial, they start with some experience already at traveling the wastes. All of your characters, like, have come to belong in the wastes. That's right, like, that's a key part of the game. Like, we're leaning harder than West Marches does. Like, you all are tied to this town emotionally. Your characters all fucking care about it. But the hunter is the one who has, like, the most experience roaming beyond it into the wastes and knows a little already about the shit that's out there. There's the master, which is... So I have long maintained, and I know this is a controversial opinion, the paladin and the monk are the same fucking class. Right? They are a warrior whose, like, devotion and dedication and sheer, like, drive gives them near supernatural power. And whether that is a devotion to a set of, like, quasi-religious ideals and to a moral ideology, or whether that is a commitment to an ideology of, like, self-improvement and detachment from the world, I don't think is mechanically relevant. Even if we look at those classes, like, they are very... Like, the abilities usually associated with them are very similar. With the exception that because early D&D is based on people who knew jack fucking shit about actual, like, Chinese monasteries and their practice of martial arts, right? Excepting the unarmed strike. Yeah, the weapon set is different because back in the 70s and 80s, there was this, like... There was this false apprehension that, like, Asian martial arts involved just a lot of punching and kicking. Whereas, like... There are, like, weapon styles are fucking baked into it from start to finish. So, in this game, like, it's the one fucking thing. So it's the master, a warrior driven in pursuit of discipline and perfection, with a mastery over their body that allows for impossible feats. Starts with a driving quest towards their vision of perfection of the self. And so you can either take that in the paladin direction, you can take that in, like, the... You know, that fucking... The fucking character, I'm trying to think of, like, the best tropey example. It's not quite... Okay, I'm gonna reference an anime, but like Afro Samurai, right? Like, that whole, like, quest where it's like, no, like, I will travel around, I will defeat all of the other warriors because I am the best warrior, and I must prove that I am the best, right? Like, you'd use that probably to play this. You'd use this to play, like, a classical monk-type character. That's all the same thing. And then one of my other pet peeves about Dungeons & Dragons is that we have all of these semantic distinctions we're promised between the wizard and the sorcerer that position the wizard as coming from, like, a learned... Thank you, fucking Highlander, Andrew. That's what I was looking for. I just totally blanked on it. Yeah, it's if you wanted to play, like, the wuxia equivalent of the Highlander, you play the Master. Yeah, and then the Scholar, yeah, so... Yeah, the wizard, we're promised in the fluff all this shit about, like, you know, they're learned, they are, like, scholarly, their power comes from, like, disciplined study and practice and all this shit. But, like, none of it follows through. The wizard is just also a spellcaster. So in this setting, like, fucking no, right? Like, you are the scholar. You are an academic with a deep well of knowledge in various means, both mundane and magical, to seek out lost lore. That is the core of the class. And then you either start, depending on which direction you want to take it, with a collection of magical artifacts that you're learning how to use, or knowledge of some arcane rituals. And again, you have the means to find out more. And then there's the Scoundrel, who is kind of... Like, I know everyone is immediately thinking rogue, and you're not, like, wrong, but I want to lean a lot more in the, like, classical trickster direction. Almost even more so. Right? Like, the Scoundrel is not just about, like, popping out and sneak attacking people and having thieves' tools. Like, the Scoundrel is about always having one more hidden knife. It's about always keeping an eye out for trouble. Yeah, thank you, Dark Left. Fucking exactly, right? Like, the wizard... none of the mechanics back up the idea that wizards are actually intelligent or scholarly or see the world in that way. And I've tried to fix that. Yeah, so the Scoundrel is like the trickster, right? Like the trickster type character who's always getting into trouble but is lucky enough and cunning enough. Yeah, the Joker, Loki, Sun Wukong, even potentially, right? Like, depending on how exactly you want to categorize stuff, could fall into this. And then the Shaman. And here I'm going to get really pretentious, okay? So, like, everyone, if you don't want to hear about anthropology, just take a moment, right? So, as an anthropologist, I have a bunch of issues with the way that magic is presented in a lot of games. I have a bunch of issues with the fact that, like, most of it, a lot of the tropes of modern fantasy have very little resemblance to how real human cultures have imagined that magic functions. And I think the way that they have imagined it is often more interesting. So, the Shaman doesn't cast spells. Like, full fucking stop. I'm almost, like, going so far as to say the Shaman isn't even going to have rituals. Like, that's just... The Shaman is not fucking about that. The Shaman's power is that they are the medium that... They mediate negotiation between the world of mortality and the world of spirits and the gods. So the Shaman's powers are all about being able to talk to spirits, being able to know things about spirits, being able to command spirits, not through magic, but through knowing the proper bands and knowing the proper rituals and knowing the proper apotropaic talismans. They're the ones who can do, like, astral projection, but, like, none of their shit is like, oh, like, you get to, like, learn, like, they're not, like, the scholar is the one who's like, okay, I'm gonna go and, like, dig up and discover how, like, you know, 10,000 years ago people did, like, this neat magic thing that they could do in the Age of Legend. I'm gonna go find, like, the ritual that you could use to do that. The Shaman is just like, my soul can leave my body. I'm just, because I'm set apart and I was born apart, like, that's a thing I can just, my body and my soul are, like, loosely attached. So my soul can just leave my body and go flying on the wings of a bird. That's not a ritual. That's just, like, I am that person. I am empowered by who I am and how the circumstances that made me that way to do a bunch of shit. Yeah, it's a little bit, yeah, it's a little bit about that, Dark Laven Void. So it's gonna be a lot of, like, really low fantasy stuff and a lot of, like, riddle games with spirits and, like, standing up to great gods and, like, through mortal defiance, like, convincing them to fuck off, right? Like, it's... If we all just take a moment to put ourselves in this specific cultural milieu, they're kind of the Avatar, right? Like, all those bits where Aang, like, goes and talks to Ko the Face Stealer to find out information that no one else can access, or, like, where, like, Korra goes and tries to, like, beg the aid of the spirits in defending Republic City, or, like, is the only one who can seal the bridge between, right? Like, that kind of shit is the shaman's jam. Like, that's what they do. So, 3 of these playbooks are already done. That is why they have descriptions already. So I'm going to ask real quick, chat, because I want to, like, talk you guys through a finished character sheet and what a character looks like. Which one would you like to see? Yeah, totally Dark Lavender Void. Right? Like, we're gonna go back just a step and very briefly detail. You will note that face, which is our social skill, right? Because this is right? There is no move in face. There's no diplomacy move. Right? There's no negotiation move. There's no read a person. There's none of that. Because those are not things that everyone can do in genre, really. Right? Like, those are things, if you want to do those things, if you want to have read a person, seduce or manipulate, parlay, right? Like, if you want to have access to that shit, play the fucking diplomat. Or, if you want to be able to do it with spirits, play the shaman. Otherwise, it's the thing, right? Like, if there's no move for what you're doing, the GM will just tell you what happens. And we'll see. Yeah, so chat, talking among yourselves, quick straw poll, among the people watching, where are we? There we go. Would you like to see the hunter, the master, or the scholar as your, like, example of what the playbooks are going to look like before I officially close the poll on Twitter and figure out which playbook we're actually going to do today? I am in your hands. You get to decide. I'm not gonna lie, Dark Lavender Void, I was low-key expecting that. After what you were saying, so. Ooh, we got a split of opinions. Ooh. Let me see. How are we gonna... we might do both. I don't know. We'll see. Look, let's... Because you like magic. Yeah, fair. Dark Lavender Void, me too. Tell you what, yeah, let's start with the scholar, and then we can go from there. So... If I just quickly fuck around in OBS, properties, let's look at the scholar. There we go. Alright, it looks like... Okay, we might have some slight issues with you guys just seeing the very top of what's going on. Because Adobe is shitty and stuff. Yes, I've recently obtained a copy of Scrivener, and so I am now capable of, like, the most, like, primitive software layout stuff you can imagine. So let's talk through this. I'm gonna find myself a little selecty tool. Wait, how do I get the selecty tool? How do I get the selecty tool? I want to grab stuff. There we go. Okay, I want to grab stuff. Oh, yeah, okay, I can highlight stuff now. This is good. So, here is what every playbook looks like. There's a little bit of flavor text up the top, because that's cute, and I like it. There is then a name, and a spot to record that. There are a bunch of looks that you choose. This is some, like, fucking basic, right, like, Powered by the Apocalypse shit. There are your ties, which at this point is what, like, the HX equivalent is going to look like, but, like, I'm 110% not committed to it. But that's more or less what it's looking like. I'm borrowing this bit particularly from Jeremy Strandberg and how he's done it in Stone Top. So depending on which background you check, you get a different... You get a couple of additional options. You then have backgrounds. And my idea with the background is... that's the venue where there's a bunch of shit I'm saying about the setting, right? That, like, for example, if you were a scholar, like, the 3 places where the education level to do that exist are in the nobility, through joining the bureaucracy of the empire, or as a priest. Like, those are the 3 places that happens. Like, full stop. Yeah, and so every move has a bit of flavor text to inform you a little bit about that context, and also comes with a move. So, for example, if you are the noble, right, like you are like a dilettante kind of scholar, so you can search your memory for a useful piece of trivia. If you're a bureaucrat, you've learned how to, like, order and structure information, so you can search a repository of law for just the thing you need. And it is very much my intention that that is not only, like, a library for books, but also if you're in a museum and you really need to find something made of iron so you can kill a thing, like, that would also be valid. And then for the priest, you gain a bonus area of interest. We're going to talk about that in a bit. Then if we go back up to the top, here, you can't see the top of it, is adventuring motivation, which is my hack of is my hack of XP. It's based on just as Stephen did it in West Marches, right? Like, everyone had an adventuring motivation that was like X the Y, right? Like verb the noun, right? So it was like explore the wilds, or slay the enemies, or get the wealth and monies, or whatever. So you pick 2 adventuring motivations, you mark XP if you acted on them. It's fairly simple. Then there's ties to home, which I haven't seen anyone else do. Like, this, as far as I can tell, is new. This is me innovating. This isn't me working off what everyone else has done. So basically, you've put down roots in Iron Springs, or some other town in the Wastes if the group all want to do that. What ties you to this place? And you choose an option, and you, like, give some concreteness to it so that when the town is threatened, like, you give a fuck. So, whenever you press on into danger or plunge deeper into the wastes on the town's behalf, you get XP. If it costs you dear, you get more XP. If you end a threat or learn something to share with the town, so if you do good for the town, mark additional XP. And that last clause, everyone gets end a threat, and then every playbook gets a slightly different second clause. So it's like, that bit is kind of a bit like the Blades XP, right? Where it's like, depending on your playbook, you got some specific shit to do. So for the Scholar, it's learn something to share with the town. If you were instead playing the Diplomat, it would probably be like, make an ally for the town. In fact, I should probably write that down somewhere, because that's a good idea. Then under that, we've got starting gear. We're big into tags in this game. We're also aggressively... So as I've said, we're not using damage in this game. We're probably not even using harm the way that Apocalypse World does it. Give me a moment, sorry. So I've got, like... Yeah, I've got a bunch of stuff here. So then, here we go. So, one of your starting moves is, if we go down here, yeah, it's not even a starting move. It's just a thing you get, right? Is areas of interest. So you pick some areas that you've focused in, and then the priest one, right, gives you an additional one. You also, there's a move that gets you like a subclass of this, so I've listed it there too. Then, here we go. Here's the good shit, right? Here is the good shit. Here we are. So, we have stat boxes up the top. That's familiar. Advancement. The track there's 12 options on the track and 12 advancement options. because it fits in like the poetics of the cultures in question. The options are all fairly standard. So, this bit is new, and this bit is very much inspired by a lot of what Stephen used to talk about with the West Marches. So once all the options above have been filled, the next time you fill the track, you must choose one of the following. Retire the character to safety and prosperity as a guide to future adventurers. Vanish them into the wastes, embracing the wild magic and becoming more than human. Or declare one last quest a chance to work a final lasting change to the world at large, and then you die. So characters have a finite lifespan in this game. They do not just endlessly go on. And then under that, here we go, right? You got starting play. You start with a move that lets you search your memory for information within your area of interest. You also start with a choice of either you own magical artifacts or you have mastered a number of arcane rituals. You know two, and you know about a third, and like the GM will tell you how to finish that. I've also made a semantic distinction in this game that I think is meaningful, though obviously other people might disagree. Also, thank you, Dark Lavender Void, for the follow. Yeah, I've made the semantic distinction between moves, where you roll, and advances, which are all of your, like, pure fictional positioning moves. Right? So, like, if, for example, if we might even zoom in a little. Right? There we go. So, for example, right, read the Dragon's Pulse. When you study a magical effect or place of power, roll plus insight. On a 10 plus, ask 2. On a 7 to 9, ask 1. Take plus 4 to act on the answer. What made this thing? What is its nature? What power does it offer? What danger does it threaten? How can I best exploit, transform, or weaken this thing? That's the standard Apocalypse moves. The advances are like, when you witness a magical effect, you can always ask the GM, how can this be countered, interrupted, or resisted, and receive an honest answer. Take plus 1 to act on the answer. Right? When you return to Iron Springs after spending weeks in the waste, your copious notes and scribblings and your experiences produce a equivalent of bag of books the next time you set out. Like, you just do that. Always. Every time. So, that's like the anatomy of a character sheet in this game. So, I promised I'd do it. So, we're gonna work on a character. We're gonna pick a playbook, and we're gonna push on. I have just consulted the Oracle, by which I mean to say I have checked the Twitter poll, and currently the Acolyte is in the lead with 40% of the votes. So it looks like that is what it is going to be. So I will very quickly get us set up with a document to make those changes in. I'm not going to work in Scrivener because it's tricky and I haven't used it with OBS yet. So I think probably what this is going to look like is I'm just going to work in OpenOffice here. So it'll look a bit ugly and a bit messy, but that's fine. We'll do okay. And then I'll do all the prettying up process later. So the Acolyte. Let's open that. And now, if I go into OBS, we will quickly switch over to the Acolyte. Boom. Alright, so this is the Acolyte. It doesn't look like it yet because it still says it's the Scholar. So step 1. The Acolyte. Good job, team. Step 2. And if everything that needs to be changed, everything that needs to be updated, I am now going to put in red. So that we can see... Oh, fuck. Gosh dang it. Okay. Is there one of these that is better in that regard? Give me just a quick moment, folks. Because there's a bunch of innovations I've made in the layout of actually, you know what? I've changed my mind. We're going to make it double of the Master. Because the Master actually has a bunch of the updates, like ties to home in it, which will make this easier. Copy, paste, rename the Acolyte. Let's try it again. Here we go. Alright. So, apologies, folks, as I try and get my technology sorted. We in the Acolyte? Yes. Okay, we are. Good. Yep. So, the Acolyte. Boom. There we go. Alright, so here is everything that we need to change. All of it's going in red. Spoiler, it's a fair deal. This bit has to be changed as well. We gotta work out the stats and then all of this shit as well. So, you know, not very much at all. We're most of the way there already. Yeah, so all of that shit in red, all that has to go. Thankfully though, some of this has all... Yeah, just like 9%, 95%. It's alright. That's right, Dark Laboratory. It's nothing. It'll be fine. We'll get this done so easy. Thankfully, like, a bunch of this is easier than it sounds because... Let me now be real truthful about some game design shit, right? Like, because this is not... At this point, this is not a game I'm planning to sell, right? Like, maybe release on the internet for playtesting, like, maybe if people want to, but, like... It's like several revisions away from ever being considered for sale, right? And also it's a Powered by the Apocalypse game. As a result, I feel no shame about liberally, ruthlessly stealing from other Powered by the Apocalypse games. So, a bunch of this shit we're just gonna borrow, right? Like, where are we gonna get most of our ties? We're gonna adopt a whole bunch of them from the Cleric in Dungeon World. Like, we're just going to rip a bunch of them out of there. Where are we going to get the looks? We're going to get a bunch of them from the Cleric and a bunch of them from Stone Top. We're just going to rip them in. Where are we going to get the drives? Probably similar. Like, I'm fairly shameless. I'll admit that, right? Like, a lot of this is us going to be borrowing stuff from seeing how other people have executed this, and then adapting it, or being like, fuck, that's dumb. We're going to do something deliberately different because we don't like that. Also, some bits of this are obvious. Case in point. They don't have an aspiration. What they have is, pending a better title, a patron. Right? Like, very clearly, their equivalent of the, like, a you start off thing is, you start off with a fucking god in your corner. Let's make some choices about it. So that's the thing. We also know, because way back, like, when I broke down the playbooks, when I sat down with the housemates who'd played the game, and I was like, right, let's figure out what the set of playbooks that are going to be in this is. When we did that, we also did come up with the backgrounds. That did get done ahead of time. So, I am now going to look them up. And what do we have? We have... Yeah, there we go. And I think they're pretty good ones, right? So we got the Devotee. Why are you like this? Okay, so we got the Devotee. We have the Chosen. And we have the Cursed. And those are, in my eyes anyway, the three, like, main flavors that this relationship comes in. Right? Like, one of them is... Right? Like, one of them is you... Like, is the classic cleric relationship, right? Where it's like, right? Like, I am a member of the laity and the clergy of this god. Or spirit of fucking... Right? Like, I am among the worshippers of this entity. I have a deep, meaningful, genuine belief that it is like a force for good, or at least my interests in the world, and I am devoted to serving it. And as a result, it gives me power, right? Like, that's one model of this relationship. Second is chosen, which is Samia clerics and also kind of the traditional paladin, depending on your interpretation, right? Where it's like, the god is like, no, like, you are mine. You are born mine. Like, I created you. This is your avatar, right? Like, this is like, no, you are born the vessel for my power, and I will use you to do my will. And then there's cursed, which is all of your depressing shit. I am open to suggestions in chat if there is like a glaring gap, and there's like a version, an archetype here that's more interesting than one of these, or that, like, I have obviously overlooked, because it's possible. It's entirely possible. The other thing I should mention is that, so at one point, there was going to be a playbook, and this flashback, right, 5 months, this was before I came to my grand epiphany about the limitations of the West Marches. This is before I said, hey, wait, like, the fact that you, as a GM, are incapable of using literally anything from their background is bullshit. This is before that, right? So back when the assumption was most of the characters would come from far away. So, there was a playbook that was called The Local. And it was about, like, your character grew up in the Wastes. Your character is kind of... It was kind of like the Sorcerer playbook a little. Like, it was like, you grew up in a place infused by the wild magic. Your soul is suffused by the wild magic as a result. You have a whole bunch of, like, folkloric knowledge of, like, the dangers of this place and how to avoid them. You... Right? Like, it was kind of like that set of tropes. I don't like it as a playbook now. Instead, how it exists is this. There are going to be a bunch of floating backgrounds. They're called... Right, they're insert backgrounds. In the same way that in traditional Dungeon World, right, you have, like, the insert compendium classes. So basically, instead of choosing any of the backgrounds associated with your class, your character can always choose one of the following. The Wastes Touched, the Destined, or the Adventurer's Child. And so if anyone can choose to be one of those, and it comes, hey Andrew, welcome back. Great to have you. Yeah, so you can always choose to be one of those three tropes and get the accompanying moves and shit. Because, yeah, like, if you're, like, if and this is also your chance to push back against the setting, right? Like, I, as the person who came up with this setting, was like, so the only places you can get an education in the setting are if you are born into the nobility and you have the class privilege to do so, if you sell your working life and soul to the imperial bureaucracy and are taught it as part of your job, or, yeah, Kellen totally picks that one, right? Or if you, what's the other one? Or if you're in the priesthood, right? And you need to read for those reasons, right? I've said this as the designer of the setting. These are the rules. Those are the only ways you can have the literacy level necessary to play this class. These insert playbooks gives you, as the player, the power to say, fuck you, Luke. No, my character was born in the Wastes, and they are the child of an adventurer, and their wizard dad taught them to read. Right? That's your chance to be like, fuck off, right? Like, fuck off, no, go away. And I'm okay with that. I think that's good design. Oh, I'm glad to hear that, Dark Lavender Void. Yeah, like, I very much want this to be a case of, like, because this setting is drawn in so many ways from like a certain period of Chinese history and of Japanese history and Korean history and the cultures of those places, like class stratification is like in the Empire, right? Which we never see on screen, but like in the way that I am imagining it, and it is bleeding into the game, like the Empire is incredibly class stratified. It is an incredibly like restrictive society. Like it is definitely debatably a meritocracy, right? Like it does that thing where it's like, oh yeah, and then like, you know, every year there's like a bunch of like imperial exams, and like if you graduate successfully, yay, good job. You know, like you get to rise out, you get to transcend your class of birth. But there's very much like an ordered Confucian hierarchical like bent to the setting outside the wastes. And so it's very intentional that like the characters are assumed to come from outside, and that because of that, like there are very restricted ways that you can become any of these things. Yeah, that's very true, Andrew. It's a very good observation, right? Like, but the restriction comes in that form, but the wastes is always there as a disruptive element to be like, well, actually, right? Like, there's always another way. Because one of the again, the key premises of the setting, right, is that like Iron Springs is an adventuring town. Like fucking everyone in the goddamn town is a former adventurer, just about. Or the child of an adventurer, or the grandchild, or great-grandchild. So, like, yeah, adventurers' kids are, like, fucking running around everywhere, and they're all raised weirdly as fuck. Wastes touched is anyone who's, like, infused with... Is your sorcerers, right? Like, if you want to play a sorcerer, pick whatever class you are that's, like, the other shit you've done in your life, and then pick Wastes Touch, because it gives you the, like... When you just wildly release the wild magic to make things happen... Cross your fingers and pray that the DM is feeling merciful move. And then Destined, I'm not totally sure about Destined. I'm still trying to work out exactly what that's going to look like. We'll see. That one maybe will get replaced by something else. Not sure yet. But, regardless, it's time. Let's fucking do this. So, yeah, exactly, Drummer Boy, right? Like, yeah, right, exactly, right? Like the you know, the Empire has very, very specific and structured ideas about like what the human gods are and how they work and what they do and how they relate to like the beast gods and those spirits that are powerful enough to be like of a godly level. Like, really, I should stop using the word god because I'm not going to be using it in setting. It's just not useful. But yeah, like, yeah, definitely, yeah. There is an idea that like in the wastes, everything is destabilized and is unstable and is up for grabs. Dark Love and Void, I'm curious what you mean about generational trauma. Like, I am very interested in you, like, elaborating on that. Because at this point, the idea of the game is that, like, the actions of your characters leave the places where the people you care about in the wastes live better as a result of your having adventured. Presuming you don't fail. Which is always an option. But yeah, if you can elaborate on that thought while I get started, that would be cool because I'm really curious. So I think I'm gonna leave the flavor text a bit, because that's probably. Yeah, I think I'm gonna leave the flavor text for a bit, right? Like that, we can leave that for later. Because, yeah, you don't want me to just sit here for an hour, like a half hour, trying to find the perfect wording, because that's what's going to happen. Instead, let's do some of the bits where I'm going to be, like, quicker about it. And let's try and fill a bunch of the shit we can just copy-paste, and then we can go look at the moves, because that's going to be the big thing. So, let's go. Look, I mean, that actual wording can stay. Alright, what kind of eyes do we have? I feel like haunted eyes is, mandatory, for a character like this. I would like bottomless eyes, like something that is talking about like eyes that are like very deep. Actually, piercing eyes is also really good. Great, because they're actually no, fuck it. It's haunted eyes. Haunted eyes. Whatever the middle option is going to be, and then inhuman eyes. Yeah. I think. In fact, I'm gonna make that. That's a design. Yeah, okay, Dark Love and Void. Yeah, I see where you're going with that. I feel like fucked up is maybe like not the word I would. I mean, it is a word I would use. I feel like there's a distinction I want to draw here that, like, in the West Marches, it was very much the case that, like, a lot of the things that the Weird did to you were, like, bad. I'm not interested in playing into those, like, tropes about, like, the other is just bad. Like, the wild changes you. It doesn't necessarily... Yeah, right? Like, yeah, exactly. It's more like Dad got altered by the Weird, and that meant that he was always different and set apart. And so his kid was raised in a way that left them very open and receptive to those things. And so, they were always, like, very... They like, grew up with, like, a real sensitivity to it and could always, like, feel it coming and became... like, really prominent in the community for their ability to, like, kind of canary in the coal mine, like, be like, oh shit, like, bad stuff's coming. And then, and then, like, their kid, like, becomes an adventurer again or whatever. Yeah. But yeah, like, the idea of, like, generational cycles, very much a thing. And you totally could, play a version of this game that would be all about family heritage. I'm not saying that it's, like, intended design, but you totally could, and I would play the fuck out of that. That'd be cool. Yes. But to go back to the thought I was just having, I'm making the statement now. I think a bunch of these looks are going to come with an option that's, like, inhuman blank. Right? Like, I think the Acolyte is the character who is most likely to be, like, markedly set apart by the signs of supernatural power. Right? Because, like, they have a fucking... There is an aura about them that is wrong. Or not wrong, no, wrong, right? Something about them is off by human standards. Is wild and untamed and dangerous. So, like, one of the voice options is definitely, like, inhuman voice. So, as it stands, each of the playbooks has come with, like, an age option that is then, like, aesthetically themed, right? So, like, for the Master, it's glowing with youth, a steady flame, or ancient and radiant. And, like, for the Beast, it's, like, the Hunter, it's, like, wet behind the ears, some other thing, and, like, old, some kind of old dog joke, I think it was. Is there, an aesthetically appropriate version of that for this playbook? I don't know that there is. Yeah, haunted eyes, like, arresting eyes. That's it. Something about them is arresting. That's still not straight from fucking Apocalypse World. Yeah, so like temple robes, yes. Scraps and tatters. What's another look? Like, making an announcement? No, that doesn't fucking work. What am I thinking? Oh, fuck, of course. Like, unassuming. Oh, fuck, that's what... It's two voices. It's like, ruined voice... like, passionate... Not even passionate, like, yeah, vibrant voice, ruined voice, two voices. Stoic? Yeah? I kind of... So... I'm gonna plunge deep into my writing archives. And find... Where is it? Is it Apocalypse or Dark Ages? Okay, so fun fact. Back when Vincent was still working on Apocalypse or Dark Ages, I wrote a bunch of custom... I started writing a bunch of custom playbooks for that. Because, like... Okay, so, like, Spirit Possession... Spirit Possession is something I'm very... interested in as an anthropologist. I've written like a bunch of stuff, not published stuff, but during my degree I wrote a bunch of stuff on it. And it very nearly was instead of what it ended up being. It very nearly was the topic of my thesis instead of what ended up being the topic of that. And so like, yeah, over the years I've treated in various ways this idea. And what did I call it? Yeah. So like, okay, so if we slip across to Dark Ages for a moment, right? There I called it the burdened, right? Crooked and twisted, walking with two shadows, outcast, unwelcome. Like the language that's used. Yeah, no, totally, Drummer Boy. That's cool. Yeah, there's like. Yeah, the language that is used in voodoo, right? Like the idea of being ridden, ridden by gods or ridden by spirits, is quite evocative to me. Like I like the idea that Cain would totally be this playbook, right? Like 110%. And in fact, I'm actually gonna fucking mark something down right now. Some kind of move for a protective mark of Cain. Like, I really like that. I think that's cool. I think that's a thing they should have. For sure. But yeah, I think, like, I like the idea of, like, playing into the idea that, like, this is a burden, right? Like, even if they willingly do this, even if the Acolyte has, like, chosen this path, they are, like, burdened by it. It is heavy. It is a burden to bear, right? Like, this is some Frodo going to Mount Doom shit. And so I kind of like the idea of, like, a progression through age that is all about, like, becoming, like, bowed and bent and twisted under the weight of this burden. But I have no fucking clue how to word it. because, of course not. I also... Here's something fun. I want to talk about this. So if we go back to... If we all remember back, take a moment, cast your mind back to... at the end of the advancement track, right? And, like, the terminal end to it. The bit where I'm like... Okay, so your character's not immortal, and once you've taken all the advancements, then you have to, like, retire your character in some way. Some of the playbooks aren't going to have a choice. For the Acolyte, if the Acolyte doesn't get an option, the Acolyte has one choice, and it is vanish into the wastes and become one with the wild magic. That is the terminal end to your arc. Always. There's no... With the Acolyte, like, there's no getting away from that. The others might get some agency over how their character disappears from play. For you, it was only ever going to end like that. And I think that's, like, an interesting enough thematic statement that I'm happy to make it. So, where was I? Fuck, I was trying to figure out how to talk about, yeah, you could, Andrew, but, like, I don't know. I just, like, because I feel like the devotee is the only character. Yeah, seppuku is the Japanese word for that. I feel like the devotee is the only one of them who would have that agency, right? Like, because if we... I just need to take a quick straw poll. Are people here Court of Swords fans? And are we all caught up? Because I might be about to talk spoilers just briefly. Because they're relevant spoilers. Okay, tell you what. If you are... This is both for chat right now, and also if you are watching this later on in the VODs. Okay, great. Dark Lavender Void, that's fine. Okay, I'm happy to talk about it. So, if you are not caught up and you care about the plot of Court of Swords and you haven't watched episode 39 yet, I think it's 39. If you're not caught up to the episode immediately before the Necromancer King arc, cover your ears now. I'm about to talk spoilers. I'll give you a thumbs up when I'm done. So, I think the fact that Adam chose to be like, hey, we're doing, like, curse werewolves. I was really into that. And the fact that he was like, it's not a fucking curse if you can die and escape that way. And I think, like, Adam was 110% right. So I think the cursed, like, doesn't get to commit suicide and escape it that way. I just, like, they don't get to do that. That's not, like, it's not much of a curse if they can do that, if they have that option. I don't think they get to do that. Similarly, I don't think the Chosen gets to, right? Like, the god is like, no, I fucking made you. And I don't think the devotee would. Like, I can see Drummer Boy, like, I can totally see where you're coming from a player agency angle, but I don't think that is the arc that I'm interested in for this character. Like, if you choose this character, you become a creature of the wild magic. That is where your story ends. And whether you serve the wilds, that's up to you, but, like, that is how you end up. Alright. Spoilers are done. Everyone else can return. Alright, so, now that we've done with that brief sidetrack, I'm going to go back to what I was doing. Alright, so those ones are fine, because those are all the race options. Yeah, let's talk about build. Actually, there we go. Build. So, bent and twisted... like, hollowed out, or, like, blessed with strength. I feel like those are strong options, all of them. I'm also just gonna quickly all of that can be black too. Yep, cool. Okay. So we'll leave the age one for later. That's just fucking, we'll worry about that at a later date. Alright, let's start shamelessly stealing. So, let's grab some stuff and choose some ideas for bonds. What's strong here? Yeah, okay, that's a good one. So, we have blank fears the power I contain. Solid choice. Blank wants to take or wants to use my power. Wants to use me and the power I carry. I feel like those are good. Chat, if you have any good ideas, I am these are the bits where like I am very, very open to suggestions. Yeah, so if you have any good ideas for like what would make you think a good tie, go for it. Oh yeah, for devotee, fucking of course, right? Like blank shares my faith and devotion. Blank also has a part to play in my destiny. Blank does not believe me chosen. They will learn. Blank does not. Blank disbelieves my destiny. They will learn. Ooh. Yeah, drummer boy. Yeah. You're leaning in some good directions here. I feel like in fact I'm just gonna call it. Fuck the idea of an age option for this look. I don't think we actually care how old this character is. It's not one of their age. It's not one of their look choices. They can just pick. Instead, yeah, it's another thing about like yeah, it's another thing about like how they are different. So actually, yeah, let's go like desaturated, like desaturated, physically changed, or like nimbus, or like aura of power. Nice. All right, looks done. Good job, team. So let's have a look for some more stuff. Yeah, that feels like a stronger option. Like mocks me and my destiny. They will learn. Yeah, okay, there we go. And then we got another one like blank desperately needs the blessing of my god. Yeah. Actually, another thing, chat, if we want to try and turn our minds to it, is like in like what terminology do we want to use, right? Like I feel like patron is an effective phrase. I also feel like it evokes the warlock in ways that I'm not sure are totally useful. Which, yeah, right, like, but like, so what do we call them, right? Like, do we call them their patron? Do we call them their burden? Do we call them like your god? Do we call them like, do you know what I mean? Like, what is the word that we use to describe the thing that the Acolyte is bound to? Because I don't have necessarily like a clear idea yet. It is, and Drummer Boy, like, I'm gonna go on a tangent again. One of my least favorite things in historical fiction, or games for that matter, but like let's go with the example, right? Is like historical fiction that like does its, hey, I'm set in 18th century France by just having the word bonjour used at the end of a few sentences. Like, I feel like just inserting words from the language to cheat flavor is like it's the easy way, and it's really quite shallow. Like, the best work set in another country, in another culture, in another time that I ever read was a book called Across the Nightingale Floor, which is about a young boy in like 16th, 15th century kind of fantasized Japan, and not a single word of Japanese is used in the entire book. All of the terminology used is English transliteration, but everything about like the way that the like sentences are structured and the idioms that are used, like it is designed to evoke the feeling of Japanese as a language, and that is much more effective in my view. So like we could just call it Yoshen, but I would rather find like an English phrase with some poetry to it that would kind of like give the same impression. But that might just be me being picky, right? Like, it might just be that the easy answer is just to go, fuck it, it's Shen. Or like your spirit. Like maybe spirit is the answer. Or God. I don't know. I haven't decided yet. Anyway, where was I? Oh, that's a good one. Actually, those are both really strong options. Blank will not touch me or meet my gaze. That's fucked up. And then actually, fuck it. And then we got a really easy complimentary one, right? Blank is one of few to show me kindness. Cool. Alright, we just need a bunch of the generic ones. What else is good? Let's go back here. Alright, let's have a look at the dungeon world. Yeah. Like, this is the thing, right? Like, failing anything else, just look at Dungeon World and steal the bonds. That is my strategy. Yeah, exactly, Dark Lab Void. Yeah, Drumboy, it's totally true. You can't rely on it. But as a whole, my like I feel like obviously binaries are always false because I'm an anthropologist and I have to put the disclaimer out there. But I feel like there's basically two schools of design in terms of that question. One of which is like it is your job to like player proof the game and make it like as and like write the game so that the players can't possibly fuck it up. And the other of which I feel is more like the Powered by the Apocalypse, like Blades in the Dark game is like approach, which is like your job is design to the good players, right? Like design for people who will treat your game seriously and try and play it as you've written it, even if that makes it more open to people fucking with it or abusing it, right? Like it's not my job to police your group and make sure that they establish a consistent tone. It's the group's job. Like that's a group culture question. That's a question of how your group does things, and your group needs to speak to each other like adults. What I can do is I can give you a game that is written to give you an indication of what the tone is intended to be. Like I don't want to write a game where I'm like, you must call this Shen so that you will feel like it's properly Asian. The other issue, of course, being actually Drummer Boy, and I can't believe I have taken this long to say it, I'm not comfortable using the word Shen because this is not just a game about China. Right? Like, I don't want to use the word Kami because it's not just a game about Japan. Like, I feel like as soon as I borrow a term... Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and also, yeah, I don't want to use a culturally specific term because then... I feel like at that point we are actually starting to veer into like L5R, Karatua, Rokugan territory, right? Because like one of the things those games did, which made them kind of shitty and Orientalist, was to use a bunch of culturally specific terms and just mismatch those willy-nilly. And just like everything was fucking all the same. So I think we're gonna try and find a phrase that we like, but we can fucking get to it later. I don't like any of the bonds for the cleric for this. They're all garbage. Let's have a look at the expanded ones in Truncated Dungeon World. Where are we? I don't like any of these. Alright, we're just gonna have to think of some ourselves. So, blank fears the power I... Actually, not contain the power I represent. Wants to use me and the power I represent. And the power I stand for. Blank, like, respects my power. Respects the power I represent, not me. Because actually, let me pause it for a moment, folks. Power. Like your power, the power you are tied to. Yeah, you're absolutely right, Drummer Boy, and like, yeah, I default back to, yeah, like in this setting. Otherwise, I don't ever use the word God, right? Like, there are celestials and there are spirits and there are the beast god. Like, I use it only as part of a suffix. Like, there's the beast gods and the celestials, who are the human deific ancestors and the like. And there's, the ancestor gods, and there's the spirits, and there's the fallen celestials and all that kind of shit. But there are no, like, quote-unquote gods. Yeah, cheers, Dark Lambda Void. That would be good. Yeah. I feel like power is what I'm tempted to go with for now. Because I have a vague memory that Shen is not, like, unlike the Japanese Nushi. Which is like a subset adjacent thing to Kami, And Nushi, I think, is more or less like imminent power in landscape is kind of the concept there. Blank sees me, not the power that I represent. Sees me for me. Sees me. No, I don't like that. I fear for blank a strange power like follows them. Blank knows what it is to be bound by obligations. Blank also knows the weight the terrible weight of duty. There we go. God, it's so close. We only need one more. Strange power attends them. Blank 2 has been touched by strange powers. By a strange power. By a great power. There we go. Yay, we're done with ties. Good job, team. Oh, look at all this progress. Alright, drives. I feel like drives is probably going to be tricky. I'm just going to put that out there now. Because, like, the Acolyte represents such a span of, like, I fucking hate that I am tied to this thing, and yes, I am a servant of God, and I love God. So drives may actually end up being tricky, but we gotta give it a try anyway. So... we call that, like, faith. Like, disregard danger, knowing that you secure in your belief that you will be protected. I kind of like that. That's kind of cool. familiar power. I like that, Drummer Boy. That is good. I like that. Yeah. So one of the goals here. So Adam Coble talked recently on Office Hours about the design intentions behind the bonds in Dungeon World. Now I love Adam to bits, but at the same time, that particular question I thought was a bullshit answer, because there is some death of the author shit right there, right? Like, normally Adam is fairly insistent on this as a standard, right? Like, you don't fucking get to clarify the text after as a role-playing game designer, right? Like, the tool you get to tell people how to play the game is the text of the game. You don't get to make clarifications. That's not how game design works. So, I think there are, Adam's clarification and opinions, aside, I'm sorry, there are some substantive flaws with the way that bonds work in Dungeon World. One of them being the issue with the terminology resolves. And my goal here, that I've, like, actively tried to keep in mind, is to write ties that can be resolved. Right? Like, all of these imply a resolution. Right? Blank respects the power I represent, not me. How do we resolve it? Blank comes to respect me instead, to see me as a person. Blank fears the power I represent. Either they're proved right, in which case that reinforces the bond, it doesn't resolve it, or, like, they learn not to fear the power I represent. Blank wants to use me and the power I stand for. Either they might succeed, or they might, like, get past that or whatever. Again, like, it inherently contains a bunch of resolutions. I fear for blank, a strange power attends them. Learn what the power is, well, now we know what it is, right? Also knows the terrible weight of duty. You see them break that duty, refuse to bear that duty, right? Like, the hope is that all of these kind of, like, imply a resolution clause. I don't know if I'm going to keep the Dungeon World, like, when you resolve the bond, blah, 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 XP, or whatever the fuck it is. I'm not sure if I'm going to do that, but I might. Okay, that's cool as fuck, Dark Lambda Void. And really interesting, and makes a lot of sense, actually, now that I think about it. I don't know that it's super gameable. Like, I feel like like, in an essay, if I was, like, if this playbook was an anthropology essay, I would fucking write several paragraphs about that. I feel like, as a game, I feel like it requires too much, like, yeah, presentation and, like, contextualization for players. I think I'm just gonna go with power, like, capital P power, like a power. Yeah, it is very poetic. Yeah. Yeah, I think I'm gonna lock it in. I'm gonna say your power. Your ruling power. Because that's it, right? Like, that's the key thing. This is not a relationship where you are in charge. And actually, perhaps that is a key. I'm not familiar with Might Selinka, Dark Climate Void, but yeah, it feels like you're on something there. Yeah. I feel like that's actually a really key clarification to make, right? Like, actually, fuck it, yeah, right? Both the shaman, Okay, so the Acolyte definitely, and to a lesser extent the Shaman, are both about asymmetrical power relationships, because regardless of what background you have and what your context is, the Acolyte, definitionally, the Acolyte is in the subordinate position. That is what makes you the Acolyte. You are a person in a relationship with a more powerful entity that rules your life, whether you have consented to that, whether you have not, right? There's a whole bunch of wiggle room around it, but that's the core of the class, right? Like, you are the servant of a greater power. The Shaman rules over lesser spirits. They have moves to rule over lesser spirits, moves to negotiate with equals, and moves to placate greater spirits. The Acolyte has none of that shit, right? Like, the Acolyte is under the thumb of a specific, more powerful entity, and that is protection in its own way, but it's also bondage, right? So it's your ruling power is the wording. And I am now happy with that. Yeah, I think authority. I'm gonna make a little note, Drummer Boy, and like in the like flavor text that accompanies it, I'm definitely gonna use the word note to self, use the word authority, because I think you're absolutely on something. I think that is really interesting. But I actually again, I kind of feel like authority is the Shaman, right? Because like authority is derived from something. The point of the Acolyte is that you have no, like, there is no position of strength. You have whatever like power in that relationship that is given to you by your ruling power. There's none that's nascent to you because your ruling power doesn't give a fuck. Whereas the Shaman is all about having authority, right? Like, the Shaman is the Shaman because through whatever metaphysical poetics, they have the right and the authority to stand between man and God, right? Like, that is what makes them powerful, is they have the authority to be in that position. And I think they're all about like power hierarchy. They're all about playing with power hierarchies and like manipulating them. The relationship of you know what actually the comparison is, right? The Acolyte is the fucking Infernal from Monster Hearts, right? Like, you have a dealer and you are hooked on their shit, and they can find 100 suckers like you if they need it. The exception is maybe the Chosen. Right? Like, maybe the Chosen's background move gives them a little bit more wiggle room in that regard, but I haven't decided yet. When you end a threat or do... Okay. Alright, if we just go back in here and think for a moment, what do we want to... If you end a threat, or what's a thing that the Acolyte can do that helps the town? Right? Like, if you end a threat or... Because the Shamans is obviously like when you tame a spirit, right? Like, that's very obviously the Shamans to me. What is the Acolytes? What is their like unique thing, right? Like, the Master is all about bolstering the town's confidence, because that's what they're all about, is like confidence and drive and determination. The Hunter is all about securing resources, food, wood, exploration, whatever that shit. The Scholar is all about learn something new. What is the Acolyte about? Yeah? Yeah, no, that's a very fair point, Drummer Boy. I feel like a lot of that is because we hadn't settled on language yet, so I'm actually gonna fears my respects my ruling power. I'm gonna go through and update a bunch of that wording, Drummer Boy, but not me. Fears my ruling power, and thus me wants to use me and my ruling power. A strange power attends them. Has been touched by a familiar power. Needs the blessings of my ruling power. Mocks me and my destiny. Actually, no, just mocks my ruling power. They will learn, will not touch me or Mima's gaze, is one of few who, yeah, cool. Drummer Boy, does that help? Does that help with that? Yeah, I feel you. I feel like you're definitely onto something, right? Like, because like there's a lot I think with the Acolyte that's not going to become clear till we figure out the mechanics for how your ruling power works. But that's fine, right? Like we can work with that. Yeah, like when you end a threat, or or appease a foreign power, right? Like maybe I'm thinking in the direction of, and tell me if this is stupid. You know that trope of the character who's like I can't be saved, like I'm horrible and I'm dark and I'm cursed and it's too late for me. You know, I can't be saved, but like it's not too late for you. I've got to protect you, right? Like that kind of bullshit protectiveness wankery. Like I'm kind of thinking that is kind of the trope of the Chosen, right? Of the Acolyte, right? Like the Cursed wants to protect the town from becoming like them by being victimized by other strange powers. The Chosen and the Devotee want strange powers to go away because this is their powers town. Right? Like it's ward off a foreign power or something. If that does that make sense? Does that seem like an interesting option? Like their whole jam is about keeping specifically like god level beings and their influence like out of the town. Like if like when those kind of entities, like the remnants of the dragons, or like the god beasts, or like whatever, like when those like rear their heads and start to look in the direction of the town, the Acolyte is all about like, no, fuck off, not you, go away. Drummer Boy, I'm interested in what you're saying. Could you please elaborate a little? Because I'm not totally seeing where you're going with it. But like I'm interested. I'm always interested in talking about Berg and the tower. Like, do you mean the whole like your job is just to watch, or like what's the? Because the thing that makes this challenge is that like all of the stuff about ties to home, like all of that XP must necessarily come from helping the town. In fact, maybe that's the question, Right, so like we've been doing this for 2 hours. I'm going to take a 5-minute break and refill my water and stretch my legs a little. While we're on break, let's think about this question. Let me rephrase it like this: in what way can the Acolyte, and only the Acolyte, improve the town? What vector of improvement is there for the town that only they are able to achieve? What does that look like? Because that's really what this XP prompt is about. So, I'm going to go on break. That's interesting. That's interesting, Drummer Boy. Yeah. Stay with that thought. I like that thought. Yeah, let's think about that. What does the Acolyte helping and fixing the town, what does that look like? And then in the meantime, yeah, I'm gonna go on a break. We can have a quick like 5 to 8 minute break. 8 minutes specifically, because I couldn't be bothered resetting my clock. So we'll see you all back here in 8 minutes, and we're going to do a bit more design, and hopefully we might finish a bunch of this. We might work a bit faster now that we've got some stuff like nailed down. Alright, bye for now. I will be back in 8 minutes. All right. All right. All right. We are coming back after the break. And we are gonna go get back into things. So for anyone who may have only just arrived, I am Luke. Sometimes I design games. We are working on All Things Under Heaven, a weird fantasy West Marches type game that is using Powered by the Apocalypse system. That is like vaguely it uses like a setting that draws on kind of like Chinese and Japanese and Korean and Southeast Asian mythologies and histories and cultures. We're working on a playbook called the Acolyte, which is all about a character who is kind of like ruled over by some magical power. So whether that is a spirit or a celestial or an ancestor or like whatever, it's that. That's what it's about. I feel like I've just figured out a bunch of the adventuring motivations. So acceptance, defiance. Seek out the wild magic and the old powers. Magic and accept. And allow yourself to be changed by it. Resist the wishes of your ruling power and act against its will. Hey Andrew, how you doing? Yeah, so during the break I realized like your comments on Berg are fantastic and they're totally on point. They're also very much more about adventuring motivation than about ties to home. Like becoming and realizing the weirdness and like accepting it, like that's a great adventuring motivation, and as a result, I have put it in there. But the ties to home is yeah, it's very much about like what is it that you specifically, your playbook and only your playbook can do to make the town better. What agency do you have in that regard, right? Like, what is your great legacy of, like, I fixed the town? What does that look like, right? Like, and the Hunters is, like, yeah, like, I fucking found a nearby wood where, like, there was a great bunch of, like, hardwood to build things and make, you know, like, keep fires going, and I, like, cleared it so it was safe for us to harvest from. And the Scholar is, like, I fucking went out there and, like, discovered some lost secrets of the ancient civilization. And the Master is like, I inspired the people to be strong and fucking, like, believe in themselves. What does the Acolyte's version of that look like? And I think... Ooh... I think I'm going to say that it strengthened the town's faith. And I think players who choose the cursed background yeah, so this is Andrew, this is like we're talking like quest level shit, right? Like we're talking about like the defiance and acceptance, like adventuring. You get adventuring motivation like once a session. Like adventuring motivation is like at the end of the session, did you do these things? So the cursed chooses defiance, and it's like, well, in any session where your curse was like, be a terrible person, end the world, and you didn't, you get XP. Ties to home is not per session, it's just like when it happens. So it's like, whenever you press into danger or plunge deeper into the waste on the town's behalf, you get XP. Right? So this is like me trying to motivate behavior much more directly. It's like when you do shit on behalf of the town, you get XP. If you do dangerous shit on behalf of the town and it costs you, you get extra XP. If you, like, fucking resolve... Like, let's... Threat there... Imagine that threat there, right? Like, if you end a threat, imagine that threat is capitalized. Like, we're talking, like, apocalypse world threat. Ooh. That is interesting, Drummer Boy. Yeah, if you end a threat or, like, guide the town's beliefs? I feel like that's too nebulous. Change the town's faith? Shape the town's faith? Fuck it, it's near as close enough, right? Like, perfect is the enemy of done. Shape the town's faith. We're just gonna say that's it. And that could be the cursed being like, fuck this god in particular, everyone fuck it when we link the enemies of that god now. Or it could be the chosen being like, I have accomplished my destiny and now this town is protected by my god. Or whatever. Yeah, I think we're going to go with Shape the Town's Faith. Because the shaman is the only one who will possibly compete with that. And the shaman is going to have a very different one of these. Yeah, so I think it's if you end a threat or shape the town's faith, mark an additional XP. I'm happy with that. I think that's cool. So let's go back to the question of drives. We have acceptance, defiance, and faith. What else do we like? Because this is about there's let me check quickly. Is it the scholar? Yeah, like knowledge or recognition. Yeah, in fact, it's fucking. It's in revelation. Yeah, right. Like revelation. Convince. Convince an NPC to of your viewpoint on religion and the old powers. No, that's not religion. That's conversion. Because then revelation is again, let's look at the scholar. Learn something new about the old powers that makes you question what you thought before. Boom! Alright, drives are done. Yeah, totally, right? Like, and yeah, I can totally see, like, so many really interesting ways that a party with an acolyte and a shaman in it could play out. or even honestly, like straight up just 2 fucking acolytes, right? Like there's no reason at all that you couldn't have 2 acolytes. Because to my mind, in place of the normal apocalypse world, like there is only 1 copy of each playbook on the table rule, in this game there is only 1 copy of each background on the table. So you could totally have a party with 2 acolytes in it, one of whom is a devotee and is like your really traditional like cleric type character, and one of whom is like the cursed and is like a lycanthropic, like, you know, werewolf warlock type character with like this like awful like deathly affliction, right? Like that would be a totally valid way to play. That is fine. Having 2 cursed acolytes is not. That's against the rules. And so yeah, like I think there's so many interesting dynamics you could have between multiple acolytes or acolytes and shamans. Because what you could even get, Andrew, right? Like what is totally interesting and what would be fucking amazing is if you get, if there's a cursed and there's a shaman, if there's a cursed acolyte and a shaman, and the shaman is like, okay, but you're human, and like in my position as like the one who like mediates the contact here, like the wild magic has crossed some fucking lines. Like this is fucked. And like the big and like the one of the whole and like a whole quest that the party goes on is literally to go track down the ruling power of the cursed acolyte and fucking like free that character. Like that would be really interesting. Yeah, totally Drummer Boy, right? Like they're discrete entities. So what it'll be is the ruling power little insert bit on down here. Like you will build a quote unquote god. Like you will choose like what is the nature of this being? What is the nature of its chi? What does it want? What are its domains of influence? Like you will make it it's a big powerful person. Like people forge specific relationships with the ruling powers, and with ruling powers individually, not as a whole. Because ruling powers as a whole includes both, like, for example, the fallen celestials that live down in the eightfold courts of hell, and the celestials that live up in the heavenly river. Like, the scope of ruling powers encompasses both, and having an attitude of service to all of the ruling powers, I think, is pretty much impossible. Like, it's just, there's too many contradictory demands. So it's more like you pick one. You're like, I serve the thing. That one. Either I worship that one, or I was, like, chosen and blessed by that one, or that one fucking, like, put a curse on me because it's terrible. Yeah, and so I think there's totally an adventure to be had, and it would be cool as fuck, where, like, the Acolyte is like, hey, I really hate being the cursed, and the Shaman is like, we can fucking fix that. And they, like, go on a quest into the wastes to find that ruling power, and they're like, fuck you. That would be good. I would play that campaign. That'd be cool. So actually, since we're talking about it, let's work this out a little. So, ruling power. Boop. Oh. Boop. God, my friend who's good at, like, publishing and layout and stuff, like, hates the fact that I use paragraph breaks and all this stuff, because I'm such a, like, amateur. I'm not doing any of the pro tips. Alright, so ruling power. So you choose, like, what is its nature? Like, elemental spirit, celestial ancestor, fallen celestial, or beast god. Because those are basically the categories. What is the nature of its chi? What is the flavor? That's not the word we're going to use, but that's the placeholder word. What is the flavor of its chi? What are its powers? And then what is its... what's it called in Apocalypse World? Its impulse. Right? Like, that's... I reckon that's basically what you get to pick. Yeah, right. Like, oh boy, the way I organize things is not great. Yeah, multiple Acolyte Shaman party would be fucking amazing. It would also, and I love that, like, there's totally the scope to play this game on anywhere on a spectrum between, like, the party is literally 3 shamans and 3 acolytes. And so like 3 shamans, 3 acolytes, and 3 scholars, and so everyone is like quote unquote spellcasting classes. And like your 2 hunters, 2 brutes, and a scoundrel. And no one has any magic at all. Like, those are 2 polar opposites, but they're both very valid ways to go out and then fuck around with the wastes. Alright, do you... Okay, so actually, here is actually a question, right? Here is a high-level question, and so Drummer Boy, we're gonna have, like, you and me, and anyone else who is in the chat, I hope some of the rest of you are out there as well, because if you are, I'm gonna ask that you help me, because that would be very helpful right now. Because we got like a big decision to make. 3 acolytes and a hunter. Yeah. 3 acolytes and a hunter walk into a tea shop. It's the start of a great joke. Yeah. So there's a really key decision actually that I have to make, like, right now, like right this instant, which is this: How much am I writing this for playtest, and how much am I just writing this for my own use at home? Because if I'm writing it for my own use at home, I'm literally just going to write a list of entities that exist in the setting as written, and just say pick one. Right? Like, I'm just... That's it. That's all you have to... Like, you just... It's just like... Which entity is it? Is it... the Forgotten Goddess of Cormorant's Watch, Madame Fu, the Dragon Ghost of Yu the Great, what's it? Horror Sparking Thought. Like, I'm just gonna provide a literal list of, like, campaign shit, or even actually, it's bigger than that, really, Andrew. Right? Like, that's a slightly round way of getting at the question, because it's still going to be relevant if I playtest it, because I'm probably going to release all the campaign shit with it. Right? Exactly, right? Like, the question is, to what extent is this a setting where I'm like, hey, I'm Blades in the Dark? Like, yeah, so here's the spectrum here, right? Is this, I'm Blades in the Dark, I have, like, there's an extensive, like, thing where it talks about, like, here are all the factions in the city, and here's, like, their strengths and all this shit, and, like, all of the, like, when you choose an ally on your character sheet, those allies are all in that map and imply a bunch of stuff? Like, is it that? Or is this Apocalypse World, and I'm like, here is the general shape of the setting, here is some pre-existing stuff, and, like, this, like, this fucking player, if you choose this, you get to add a thing to the setting. You get to invent a thing, a new thing, and the GM has to find a place to put it. Like, which of those am I doing? Because, like, that is the crucial question here, because until we know, like, fucking, I don't know. What does the ruling power look like? Like, this move is dependent on that choice. Like, I'm inclined... Yeah, exactly, right? Like, as a player, you want to be able to invent a thing. Okay, what if we do a combination of both? Where we give people the option, right? Like, what if I do it like this? What if I do it like this? I'm gonna really quickly like knock a draft out, Andrew, and like feel free to like comment as I go, right? So like ruling power, like what you are bound to a powerful thingamabob. What is its nature? And then we have celestial ancestor. Choose. And then we have some examples. Like, okay, celestial. Fuck, who are some celestial ancestors? I'm totally blanking. Like Kuan Yin. I'm just straight up ripping from Chinese mythology now because the Great Emperor Jade, Naza, Third Prince Naza. Or invent your own per the move below. Fallen Celestial. Choose some shit. Some other shit. Or invent your own per the move below. Another, right? Like, it's very drafty. It's very drafty, right? Like, here's a list. Say a new thing about any of these powers. Yeah, my only concern with that, Andrew, is that like, depending on the power, that might make the GM have to do a lot of legwork. Like, I think if we were gonna do it like that, I would be more like, here is a list of powers, here is a list of choices, combine them. Right? Like, I feel like that would be more the case. If that makes sense. But yeah, let's look. I think I'm starting to see. Look, it looks like there's going to be a list. So let's give this thing at least a bit of a shape. So what are the options actually? Right? Like the options are like elemental spirit because there's plenty of those. Beast god because there's a bunch of those. Fallen celestial. I guess are there enough of those? Give me a moment. We gotta. There's a document we gotta look at. We gotta consult the runes. All things under heaven. GM tools. Local influences of the wastes. All right, drummer boy. Welcome, and anyone else in chat. Feel free to holler if you're there. Welcome. Just as soon as this loads. There we go. Oh, wait, no. There we go. Welcome backstage into All Things Under Heaven to the threat list of all the bad shit in the world. So this like basically drummer boy, right? Like this is the list of these are the things in the game that I would consider ruling powers that exist in the setting as pre-written, like divided up by region. And so this is helpful because I should then be able to look at that and work out what the categories are. kind of feel almost like we want to do it on the other end, right? Because like, all right, let me pitch you something, Drummer Boy. What if it works like this? Like, you get a bunch of choices, right? Like you get to choose, like you get to choose from set lists. It's like, what does your what is the nature of your ruling power? Like what is its like basic motivation? Like, does it want to control things? Does it want to improve things? Does it want to destroy things? And like, I don't know, some other choice. And basically, based on those choices, the GM goes and looks at this document and is like, oh, it sounds like you just described Huo Sparking Thought, the Fallen Celestial. Alright, so clearly that's your chosen power, and then your ruling power, and then, like, if you're the Cursed, we may not tell you that. You might just not know, or if you're the Chosen, but, like, if you're the Devotee, we'll be like, yeah, like, let me tell you a bit about this entity and how it likes to be worshipped. Like, what about, how does that feel as, like, a possibility? Yeah, cool. Okay, we like that. All right, so in that case, what I'm going to do is we're going to make we're going to, like, dig fucking deep into this specific move. Because I think it's really, 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 like, deeply at the heart of this entire fucking playbook. So we're going to open this document, and then we're going to cut away everything else except the actual influences themselves. Because then, Drummer Boy, what you and I are going to do together, is, and I'm going to cut the Hidden Enclave. They don't actually count for this purpose. Yes, remember, what we're gonna do is we're gonna look at these and we're gonna categorize them, right? Like, we're gonna say, we're gonna group them into a bunch of categories based on, like, we're gonna categorize based on motivation, we're gonna categorize based on essential nature, and based on that, we're then going to, like, basically build, like, a table, and figure out what the questions are gonna be and what the options are, if that makes sense. Because I honestly feel like that's the only way to do this. So, there's our list of, like, ruling powers that currently exist in the campaign. So questions are, what are its essential nature? What is? What the fuck? What is its essential attitude? Yeah, it's not going to be simple. Like, it's definitely the most work option, but fuck it. Yeah, like, Drummer Boy, honestly, I've jokingly talked about, like, ideas for a show, like, vaguely along those lines before, and I think that actually would be real cool. Like, even just, like, if I had been, like, a lot more... I didn't do this with Endless Sea, right? But, like, if I'd been a lot more, like, on the ball with it, and I'd streamed the original creation, then the next... Then, like, once I finished, right, it's like, stream, oh, we're ready... Stream the first playtest with Eric. Immediately, like, next week, stream like a post playtest debrief talking about the changes I wanted to make. Stream, like, if even just doing that, and like making like a continuous process would, I think, be really interesting. And I might try and do that with Shattered Mirrors, which is my current story game, but we'll see. Okay, so what is its essential nature? So what is its essential attitude? Let's figure out some categories. So what is its essential nature? So here are the options. We have elemental spirit. There's a bunch of shit that goes under that category. We have ascended mortal, because that's also definitely a category. We have beast god of old. And then I'm just going to start sorting shit. So, the Forgotten Hero is an Ascended Mortal. The first beast is a Beast God. The Kirin is probably a Beast God, but actually that's really hard to say. It's close enough. The Eagle God is a Beast God. The Salamander God and the Pangolin God are also Beast Gods. Shanbal is also an Ascended Mortal, as is Anshi Shifu. Dayu is an Elemental. The Forgotten Goddess is an Elemental. Yu the Great is Beast God. Sparking Thought is other. Conceptual Spirit Council is an Elemental. Rhinoceros Woman and the Lonely Zhang are both ascended. Cut the Babu Dragon, it's not powerful enough yet. Fu is an essential spirit as well. Yeah, fuck. Andrew, that's cool as shit. Yeah, my only concern is just like, they have to be a fucking long show. Right? Like, even, like, we're designing a single playbook and we've been at this for nearly 3 hours. Like, game design is a slow process a lot of the time. But, like, I mean, yeah, you're definitely onto something. That's cool. You know what? Fuck it. The Killin isn't a beast god. It is an elemental spirit. And then other. And that's pretty good. Like, would you pick one of those categories? Well, let's... Actually, creature of the underworld. undead or undying. Because that is Sparking Thought. That is You the Great. And that is the Forgotten Hero. And I actually like that much better. Andrew, how would that, like, how does that look as a set of options? That's true. I mean, it's actually, for something like this, it is actually just really good to have someone to bounce ideas off. Because, like, talking out this stuff is really helpful. And, like, I feel like it'd depend on what kind of design you're doing, right? Because, like, if I was doing this with 3 or 4 of my peers, I would have to spend so long, like, just explaining my vision and, like, justifying my creative choices. Whereas here, I can be like, let me pitch you a setting that you would like to play in, and you'd be like, oh, fuck, that sounds cool. That's dope as hell. And then we're like, cool, we're done. We did it. Good job. All right. So, we're gonna, I tell you what we're gonna do, Drummer Boy, because we're, yeah, like we're starting to come up on, this has been a pretty long stream, for a design stream. So I think we might make this the last challenge. So what we're gonna try and do, is Elemental Spirit. What we're gonna do is we're gonna try and finish this move, and then I'm gonna get you to run through this move. Right? Like, we're gonna do the move, and then I'm gonna be like, Drummer Boy, make the choices, and I'm gonna plug them in and see if they all... Exactly, right? Like, we're gonna pretend you're making an Acolyte, you're gonna make the choices, and we're gonna see if that generates us something usable, and if that feels good. I think that's what we're gonna do. So what are the choices again? Elemental Spirit, Beast God of Old, Ascended Mortal, Undead or Undying, and Celestial Ancestor. Right, so those are the choices. Yeah, so what is its essential nature? Then we want what is its like deepest, what is its motivation? Fuck. Look, what does it want? Let's do the simplest version of this possible, right? And what I see here is we have freedom is a big one. Like dominance is another. I should call it like, not even control. Rulership, dominion. That's what I want to call it. Dominion. That's cool. All right. So, Sparking Thought, instinct to transcend. It wants to be free. Andrew, I might even get you, like, yell out and help. The Forgotten Hero, instinct to walk once more. Freedom. Easy. The First Beast, to prove its strength. Dominion. The Eagle God of Jeeling Ridge, to birth a child race to rule the skies. Fucking Dominion. Cut the leash. I'm just going to go through and cut a couple of the smaller ones, because they don't count. You the Great, to slumber uneasily. That sounds like freedom. Madame Fu, to gorge herself, to consume and grow. I'm going to say that. Okay, we can get to that. So, Forgotten Goddess. Yes. Yeah. Okay, those. So, those 3 all sound like Dominion as well. Or do you... Actually, Andrew, here's a question. Are Dominion and Control, should they be separate? Should I distinguish between those? Because I feel like a bunch of these... like a bunch of these are about... A bunch of these are about dominion, and a bunch of these are about control, and I don't know that those are actually the same thing. It wants... What does it want? Does it want freedom? Does it want dominion? Does it want, like... what are the other options? Does it want, like, transformation? Yeah, like, change? Does it want change? Right? Actually, because that's what it is. Right? To rekindle the past falls under that category. To shake the sleeping earth falls under that category. To gorge self-consuming grow. They're all about change, right? Like... To nurture the wilds? That sounds like change. These are loose categories. Depending on intent, enslavement, prosperity. Yeah, that might actually... Yeah, okay. So what is its intent? Okay, yeah. So what? Yeah, what does it intend? It intends freedom. Check, 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 check. It intends dominion. It intends like growth, prosperity, growth, expansion. It intends control. Because I feel like, yeah, here we go, right? So, like, it intends... The conceptual spirit they actually want change. Yeah, so the Lonely Zhang wants change. The Pangolin God wants change. Madame Fu wants expansion. Shanbal wants control. Shifu wants control. Let me tell you that much. That's his whole jam. Yeah, here we go. This might be slightly better. The Lonely Zhang wants growth and expansion. It wants your dominion. Yeah. To transform the enraged, to drown the world. Is that about dominion or is that about... Yeah. See, a lot of this is very arbitrary. But that's fine. That's okay. Alright, the Kirin wants growth. Rhinoceros woman wants... I'm going to say that's freedom, actually. Dayu doesn't primarily want to be free. That's a secondary goal. She wants control. They want to compete for primacy to control. They want transformation. The Pangolin God wants... That's whatever. Alright, how does that look, right? Like, do they... Some just sound like watching the world burn? I mean, look, you're not... A lot of these are kind of fucked up. Just like just flat out fucking destruction be an option? Let's go with that. Destruction. Slash change. Because that would be this one. That would be the Salamander God as well. That would be... I just feel like Woolly Rhinoceros one doesn't actually count. She's not of a high enough level of entity to count. She's just a person. So we got 3, 3, 4, 3, 2. All right, so we're gonna pick one of these. Which one of these is actually just about destruction and change? It's about it's the Conceptual Spirit Council. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, that's a fair case, Drummer Boy, right? That's a fair case, but like, I think it wants to be. Sparking Thought wants to be free more. Like, Nourishing the Door to Hell is motivated by resentment at being contained. Like, ultimately, it is revenge for a lack of freedom. I think freedom is still the basic motivation. So these options are like, so what does it intend? Like, to achieve freedom by any means. To achieve dominion and rule supreme. To make the world in its vision, in its image. Yeah, to make the world as it see. Yeah, to make the world. To remake the world as it desires. To have control, to have utter control over all it surveys. To achieve dominion and exert its power. Because that's what that's really about. And like to destroy the old order according to its vision. Yeah, the threes are good. The threes are good, right? Like we did it. So how do those sound as options, right? Like if we say give me a moment. I'm just gonna like do some quick formatting in another document without switching over. Right, like how do we, Drum Boy, how does this look as a set of choices? Yep. All right, so let's go with that. At least for now. what does it? What is its what is its motivation? To achieve freedom by any means. To whatever the fuck the other one. To achieve dominion. To exert its power. Its power and gain dominion. To remake the world according to its desires, to have utter control over all it surveys, or to destroy the old order and make way for the new. To make way. All right, Andrew. Do we think Yes, exactly, Drummer Boy. Exactly, right? Like, it is totally, like, you're like, oh yeah, it's like an elemental spirit and it wants to destroy everything. And the GM's like, aha, I know who that is. I know who that sounds like, but you may not know. Right? Like, it may come to you in a different face, right? Like, now that said, I think the GMing advice for this playbook will probably be fairly strong on, like, no, like, fuck you, bad GM. Like, just fucking tell the player. Right? Like, I think that's an interesting option. I don't think it's default gameplay. Like, I think the player probably should know, and particularly for most of them, it makes sense. Like, if they're a devotee, of course they know who it is. But yeah, if you're chosen, so actually, fuck it. Maybe that's what the. How does this sound, Drummer Boy? Right, the power, like the move that the devotee gets, is that the GM has to tell them who it is. That's their thing. That's their move they get. It's just like blah blah blah. You're religious, blah 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 blah. Right? It's like when you make your choices, the GM must tell you the name, aspects, so on. Right? Like, I think. What if we assume that, like, the default position of the class is that you don't know? Right? Like, you are bound to this power, but you don't actually know a lot about it, and, like, one of your major, like, maybe, like, internal arcs is that you're trying to find out. But if you are the devotee, if you choose that as your background, you get the GM must tell you. You get to say to them, I am going to ask you 3 of the following 5 questions, and you must answer my question. Like, what is its name? What are its powers? What does it want? Another thing and another thing, or whatever, right? Like, that's dope as fuck. All right, I'm gonna put a note of that somewhere because that's cool. I'm so sorry. I'm moving between like 1,000,001 windows is really hard when you're streaming stuff like this. All right, there we go. We're back over onto the correct page, which is helpful. So yeah, I'm just gonna make a little note down here. The GM must tell you the name of your ruling. Must tell you about ruling power and identify it. Questions from a list? Question mark. All right. Drummer Boy, do you think like a 2-question metric is enough? Or do you think there's like a 3rd question we should add? Yeah, like if we want to talk about like key reasons why I can't produce role-playing streams on my own, like 2 screens is not the biggest issue, but it's definitely one of them. But yeah, what do you think? Do you reckon, like, Add a third to break ties. What is it? What should it be? What's another metric by which we can split up that list? Okay, so that can go. This we don't actually need anymore. I'm just going back and I'm going to clear out a bunch of these documents I have open because that will also make this a lot easier. Yeah, what should it be? Because what's another piece of information that GM has? Could it be where is it from? No, it shouldn't be. Like what about like how how does it treat you? Right? Because like even if you're cursed, it could still just be like, I'm going to be a spooky voice whispering in your ear, do evil. Whereas like even like a benevolent god that you chose could be like, fucking do this, now fucking do that. My concern with that, Andrew, is I just don't know how that would produce something useful. Like, it's an interesting question, and I'll probably put it in there, because it's good meat for like thinking about the character's past. I just don't know that it will produce. I don't know that it will pass down that list productively. Because like, what are the other? What about this, like how does it... I'm not going to be able to word this well, but like, how does it appear to you? Like, when it visits you in visions or dreams or fucking whatever, right? Like, does it look human? Is it just a disembodied voice? Does it communicate through emissaries? Does it look like something vast and clearly inhuman? Like, how does it... What is its form? If that makes sense. How do we feel about that? Like, does that work? Is that interesting? Yeah, no, I see where you're going. I feel like that's starting to dig. I feel like that's starting to dig deeper than we've got space for on a playbook. I feel like that's a different game. I tell you what, let's do this. Let's try it. Let's try the move as it stands, and like a couple of times. And if it works, great. And if it doesn't, then probably we do need a tiebreaker question. Right? Like, let's figure out if we need the third question through practice. So, Drummer Boy, voice of the chat. You're a Acolyte now. Pick some stuff. Go for it. I believe in you. Chi? In the general sense or in the question? Or in the setting? Because like in the general sense, it's okay. So yeah, in the general sense, it's like life energy, right? So like Chinese philosophy teaches that the universe is infused with and suffused by like a latent life force that, like water, kind of like puddles in some places, and like there are some places are like deep lakes of chi, and other places are like deserts of chi, and some places the chi doesn't move and it goes like stagnant and rotten, and because it's meant to circulate and flow. And so when we breathe, we breathe chi in with the air and we breathe it back out again, and that's like what sustains all life. And so I was like, yeah, I kind of like the idea of a question that's like, what is the nature of its chi? Like rotten and stagnant, like bright and fiery, some other thing. I don't know. Actually, fuck it, that's a good question. I like that. That's cool. That's gonna be the third question. Oh, nope, that's no good. That's no good either. There we go. Yep. Yes, cool. Okay, so what is the flavor of its chi? Yeah, like rotten and stagnant, bright and radiant, cold, and calculating, shrouded, veiled. This is the bit where... This is the question where we get really endless C, right? This is the question where it's just a whole bunch of weird evocative shit, and the player just picks one that they think sounds cool. This is the bit where we go endless C. Yeah, I like that. Like, yeah, abundant, overpowering. Let's go with that. Let's use that as a set of options. Like, that'll do for now. Yeah. So, Drummer Boy, make your selection, and let's see if this will work, or if we're gonna have to go back to the beginning and design something different. Okay, so Ascended Mortal to exert power and gain dominion, cold and calculating. Cool. So, Ascended Mortal, 1, 2, 3. To exert power? Alright, cool. So, congratulations, you have chosen, yeah, so that works with one. That, we just got one. Or rather, yeah, so here's the thing. I think, let me go back. I just need to quickly double check something. I think what we're probably going to need to do, is list a bunch of stuff on two lists, because so let's switch back over to the other document for a moment. Untitled 1. There we go. So what is its essential nature? Ascended Mortal. So we got three choices there: Shanbal, the Internal Alchemist; Anshi Shifu, the like creepy mind control motherfucker; and the Lonely Zhang, last of the External Alchemists. So those are our three options. Here's the problem: none of them are present in the Achieve Dominion category. However, that category and Utter Control are very similar to each other. And Janbal and Anshi Shifu are both present in there. And so then it just becomes a question of the flavor of their chi, and Jean Bal is definitely cold and calculating. So I feel like it works. I feel like it's never going to be like an exact thing, if that makes sense, Drummer Boy, right? Like, we can't, like, I'm not going to redesign the fucking game so that for literally every combination there is a valid answer. Because that would have to be like so many, right? Like you'd need so many like combinations possible to do that. I think it's gonna and ultimately it's gonna be like, look at the answers they give you and like they will do their best. But I think I'm okay with that. If that makes sense and sounds reasonable. Yeah, it's like, if there isn't a solid answer, pick the next closest option, or if you want to, because this should also totally be an option for the GM. If you want to, create one. Right? Like, because like you picked one where like 2 of the categories were a yes and 1 was a no. If you'd been like Ascended Mortal, and I'm just gonna look through now and check what the options are again. Right, if you'd said like Ascended Mortal, Rotten and Stagnant, to destroy the old order to make way for the new, like there's kind of not actually anything that fits that, technically. And so at that point it becomes a case of just like make something new. Add something to the setting, which like fucking go for it. 10 points. So can we do that again? Can we try that whole exercise again? I just want to give it like a couple of goes and see if it'll work. So, pick another 3 that you like. If you are willing to humor me in this very weird, limited version of playtesting. Elemental, achieve freedom shrouded. Awesome. So, if we hop across to the document, let's follow that through. So, Elemental Spirit. Daiyu, the Forgotten Goddess, Conceptual Spirit Council, Madame Fu, the Kirin. Great, all elemental spirits. And then you said to achieve freedom? Yes? Yep, okay, to achieve freedom. Oh, I need to work on that. The Forgotten Hero and there's 2 forgotten things. Alright, so okay, so again, we've got like a not perfect match. However, the Forgotten Hero is pretty close to just being a fucking spirit. Right? Like, it's undead and undying and spirit are naturally going to bleed into each other, and its whole nature is that it like devours memory, and it is about forgetfulness. So it's shrouded. So again, ding, 10 points, a little bit of creativity. We found something. Good job, team. We did it. Let's go one more. And then I will declare myself well pleased and satisfied, and that we did a good job. And that we have functional design, which is after all the goal. Yeah. I also definitely want to do some like layout formatting to try and fit better so that we're not wasting like a whole massive column on a bunch of checkpoint questions. But that's an issue for later. Right, Celestial, remake the world, bright and radiant. Let's do it. Cool. So, window capture. Untitled 1. Let's go. Oh, okay. So, yeah, so here we go. So this is the one exception. None of the Celestials are native to the wastes. So I think that's the one option where it's always going to be a case of GM go and consult the setting notes about religion. So in this case, I'm just going to look at that and be like, right, it's a celestial ancestor. It wants to remake the world. Its chi feels bright and radiant. Yeah, there's totally like a celestial ancestor who rules over like rightful revolution and like that kind of shit. And so I'm just like, yeah. So that's what it would be. Cool. I feel really happy with it. I feel like that works. That's some fucking good shit. All right, awesome. So, let's go back to the Acolyte. So, I feel like we've done some good streaming. We've got a bunch of shit sorted out. We've got not drives, but adventuring motivation. We've got ties to home. We've got some ideas about what this is going to look like. We've got some ideas for one of the backgrounds. We've got a whole bunch of this shit. We've got move still needs a lot of work, but that's fine. Yeah. All right, cool. I think with that, I might say we're done for today. I think what I'm gonna do, I could do this the other way and just like set aside a playbook to be just the stream one and just work through it only on stream. But I feel like I would just get really annoyed by that because now I'm filled with inspiration and thoughts and I just want to push on. So I think I'm just gonna keep going. I think I'm gonna finish this one, and then next time I stream, I'm gonna be working on whatever's next. Speaking of, I enjoyed this design streaming. It's cool. I have a good time. So I think I'm gonna make it a more regular thing. So for anyone who is watching who would like to hang out again or hang out live if you watched the VODs and you enjoyed, and also to you, Drama Boy specifically, my faithful contributor, I'm gonna do this again Tuesday morning Australian time, Monday evening Pacific and Eastern time in the US. I'm gonna do some more of this. I might be streaming more of All Things Under Heaven. This game, I might be streaming some beginning work on Shattered Mirrors, my latest story game about like broken families and quests into fantastical otherworlds. Yes, it's a very good point, Drummer Boy. And like, normally I would have been a lot more organized, but I was out for brunch with my mother right before this started, so I got back quite late. Yes, that's very true. That is very, very true. But yeah, so that's gonna be a thing. So I will see all of you all watching again next time. I hope you've enjoyed. If you are interested in this game and have questions about it, or would like to maybe playtest it at some point, I guess, hit me up on Twitter at gamesfromthewildwood / twitter.com/wildwoodsgames. And you can learn about it there, I guess. Also, if you want to see at least play in the setting, on my YouTube there are some VODs of it, the very short-lived Twitch campaign of it that ran. And also, lastly, if you have enjoyed watching this, or have played one of my games and liked it, or think I'm funny on Twitter, I don't make that many jokes, but I guess. If you want to support me in doing more of this kind of stuff, I have a Patreon, patreon.com/wildwoodsgames. Through there, you can get a bunch of cool stuff, which will hopefully fill you with joy and excitement in your life, including, and I guess probably one of the main draws of that Patreon is if you back at the right levels, you can get early access to playtesting for a bunch of my games. And have a chance both to play them early and also to contribute. Speaking of my Patreon, I would like to thank the kind folks on my Patreon who support me. Eric Vulgaris, Liam Murray, Adam Daniel Wayman, Sean, Ryan Towers, and Kafkazor. You're all great. And yeah, Drummer Boy, this has been lovely. I hope you're having a good day, and that you're feeling a bit more chill now. And goodbye, Strim. I will catch you all a little bit later on.